Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. Today I want to have a look around in the Orchidarium again. There's a whole lot of stuff in bloom and a whole lot of things to come, and I'm just really excited to share it with you guys. So I've got the camera off the tripod. We're just going to go ahead and pull some plants out and just have a general look about so you guys can see what's going on, because man, there sure is a lot going on. So welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. Here we go. First up, we have this little gem. This is the Macroclinium Dalstromii. I'm going to try to zoom in. It is impossibly small. Oh, very difficult to film, but a really awesome plant. I got some decent pictures of this. I will throw a picture up. But yeah, it is a tiny one. It is a really cool little plant though. It has these succulent kind of fans, very similar to a Telumnia. It grows a lot like a Telumnia. It likes to dry out just a little bit in between waterings. I don't have much moss. There's actually some natural moss that's occurring on here. And it has a pendulous little bloom spike with these awesome tiny little flowers. We have our Panthe Calediction. It is in bloom. Not a huge flush of blooms this time, but always nice to see. It's a nice little speckle of red in the back of the Orchidarium. It always makes for a nice addition. I love this plant. The plant is doing fantastic. It is recovered nicely from almost dying once. It is really starting to take off. I'm super excited about it. Above it, we have caught the elusive Panthe Sherry Bridingham in bloom. It just opened that flower up today. They only last about a day. I don't know why, but these are not very long-lived. Next to that, we have everyone's favorite. This is Panthe's Telepagana Flora. It's doing great. It just put on a heck of a show. I missed a lot of it, but it does have 3 blooms open right now. And it looks like one more that should be open in the next day or so. It just closed this one. This was actually open this morning, so I missed it, unfortunately. But that is Panthe's Telepagana Flora for you. If you blink, you might miss it sometimes. Zooming back out and looking up here, this is our Condilago Rodrigo Eye. And I am pleased to say that it has 1, 2, and 3 spikes forming with 3 buds on right now, and that's going to be the best showing for this plant so far. I've only ever had 1 flower at a time, so this is really big news. I am extremely excited about this plant. It's got really awesome flowers, and it's going to be even cooler to see more than 1, so always happy about that. Our Pleurothallus rostratissima is in bloom as usual. It is never ever out of bloom. I'm going to try to get close-up of these. These are also kind of tough to get on film. These are the fuzzy little cups, and they are really cool. It's cup-shaped, it's very fuzzy, and very small. Hard to get on film, but they literally push 2 and 3 out at a time, and they are always in bloom. So that is Pleurothallus rostratissima, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 or 7 blooms on right now. Moving down, oh no, this is closed up too, darn it. Apparently we missed it. I had this morning, but our Panthes helicocephala actually had 3 flowers open for the first time on 1 leaf. I did get a picture, thankfully, so I'll throw the picture up of it, but it is still in bloom. It is an awesome little miniature. The flowers present themselves really well on this Lepanthes, and they do the same on the Guatemalensis, which we have here. It's producing its first spike for me, and it is pushing on nicely, so that also is going to present itself quite nicely. They won't hide their blooms like some of them do, and it'll be a nice addition once it does finally decide to show itself. The Mariposa, this plant is always in bloom, literally always in bloom. It has been blooming ever since I got it. It put out a huge flush recently. This is actually just a small blooming, believe it or not, but it is always in bloom. Awesome little flowers, but they do hide themselves like a lot of Lepanthes do. The Lepanthes uxoria is also one that tends to hide itself, but this last flower spike, let me get down here, decided to bring its flower out on the top of the leaf, so you can actually see it quite a lot better. It's a really cool little Panthe species, and there's multiple blooms on this flower. I'm sorry, there's multiple flowers on this plant. They are just hidden. It's one that likes to bloom on the underside. Oh, I think I just tore it off. On the underside of its leaves. So a lot of Lepanthes do that again. Might not be for some people, but it really is a cool little thing that they do, some of them. So this one likes to bloom on the underside of its leaf as well, but if you look through here, take a second, there are literally probably a dozen or more flowers just hiding. So you always catch a glimpse of them when you're looking, but it's another really floriferous one. This is Fimbriata. I always mess the name up of it. Let me see if I can get in closer. They are really cool, orange and pink and numerous. Lots and lots of flowers off of this little guy all the time. We talked about the Dracula. It's in spike. I'm not going to waste too much time on that. The Poroglossum, it's got 3 spikes, and it just closed 2 flowers. So this one's going to be producing its next bud soon. This one I just see a hint of. Now this one I see a hint of purple. This one just finished up, and it's got a bud forming right here. The Lepanthopsis down here in the mist and the fog, it just finished up its 5 spikes, but I just actually kind of revamped its partner here. This is Lepanthopsis astrophora. It had a couple of keikis that were growing really strong, so I decided to pin them back to the mount, let them take off a little bit better. I thinned off a little bit of the live moss. It was starting to kind of overtake the base of the plant, and I do not want to cause any issues. So I did take care of that recently, and I'm very much hoping that it will start to take off and bloom and grow as prolifically as its partner down there, the astrophora. The last special thing I really have to show you guys, I promised I would show you the other day. I guess I'm going to have to take this out of here to do this, is our Restrepia muscifera. And it did open up its second bloom. So it's got 1 and 2. Again, these are ones that like to kind of hide out on the back side of the leaf. You would really never know by just looking at this plant that it was in flower. But awesome little flowers they are. And we have 2 of them for the first time, so that is really big news. Love Restrepias. I really do. They have awesome little blooms. And this one is really starting to perform well, so I'm hoping it gets going stronger with all these new growths it's put on recently, and we can get more and more flowers off that guy. Back up here, last but not least, as far as the blooms go at least, we have our new Dendrobium Cuthbertsonii hybrid. And again, the light is kind of bright. It plays tricks with the blooms, but these are the most delicate blooms. They really are absolutely gorgeous. They are crystalline, they sparkle, and if that's your thing, these are definitely awesome plants for you to have. So it has finally opened up its second bud here. I did go ahead and mount it. I think it looks a lot better on this mount. What do you think, guys? But it grows up here now instead of down so low, where it gets lots and lots of light directly across from the Cuthbertsonii, which I am pleased to say, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it has really progressed on quite nicely. This bud here should open up in the next few weeks, and I'm just really thrilled. It's going to be the first time blooming for me. So that's our regular red Dendrobium cuthbertsonii, and the moss is also doing really well on this mound. It looks really nice. So that's about all for now, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing closed up, and I will sign off while the mist is rolling, because people did like that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy all these miniatures as much as I do. It really is starting to get kind of jungly in here. I have some more space on the sides that I intend on filling as soon as possible. But for now, let's just enjoy. Lots of things coming along nicely, and things to come, and all the beautiful blooms. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And until next time, happy growing.